Good morning and welcome to the 15-minute Chassidus shir. If you'd like to dedicate a shir in honor of someone or for a special occasion, you can do so online at RabbiRabin.com. We are learning the Maamarim, Vata Tetzaveh Tavshin Mem Aleph. We've finished Ois Zayin, about to start Ois Ches. Just want to recap one small point at the end of Ois Zayin, that in the Maamarim of the Farbrengen Rebbe from 1927, which this Maamarim is based on, he speaks about what does it mean Vata Tetzaveh, that Hashem said to Moshe. Tetzaveh means tzavsa v'chiber, that you should connect the Yidden to Ein Sof, connect the Yidden to Hashem. In this process, Moshe himself also has an aliyah, which is what the taich of the Yichu Elecha Shem and Zayis Zach, and they should bring to you the olive oil. What does it mean, bring to you olive oil? It means that Moshe should have something he didn't have before. In other words, he has an aliyah, he has an elevation. He himself has a closeness to Hashem, which he didn't have. How did he get it? As a result of him helping the Yidden. In this Maamarim of the Farbrengen Rebbe, he goes on to explain that in each generation you have a Moshe Rabbeinu. As the Zohar says, is pashtusa de Moshe b'chol der. There's an extension of Moshe in every generation. And for example, says the Farbrengen Rebbe, the Medrash says, Mordechai b'deri k'Moshe b'deri. So the Rebbe picks up on this and says, in different words, the Farbrengen Rebbe could have picked anybody. Anyone of throughout the thousands of years that we had leaders of the Jewish people, from Moshe Rabbeinu till 1927, the Farbrengen Rebbe, though it resonated with him that Mordechai was. So this we explained what was unusual about this. The Rebbe explains on why the Farbrengen Rebbe mentions Mordechai, based on the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Peri Gimel, and the explanation of the Baal Shem Tov, that a person should reflect on different matters so they won't come to do an Aveira. And the language of the Mishnah is there will be a din v'cheshbon when the person comes to Maila. What's the din v'cheshbon? So the din is that they show him a situation and ask him, how does that resonate with you? What's the din in this situation? As the person paskins on the situation which is not about him, say, okay, that's how it resonates with you. So we're going to make the cheshbon, we're going to make the reckoning on you also. So the point is that the Rebbe is saying with the Farbrengen Rebbe, it resonated more with Mordechai HaTzadik as opposed to anybody else. What's unique about Mordechai HaTzadik? And that the Medrash says he was like Moshe, because he was the Nasi, he was the Moshe Rabbeinu of his generation that openly affected every single Yid that was in that generation. Same as Moshe did, so Mordechai did. Why does the Farbrengen Rebbe pick this Medrash? Because it resonated with him, the Sidon, because that's where he was at. That's why we understand from the Baal Shem Tov's Taich on Din V'Cheshbon, where the person's at, that's how he looks at somebody else, and that's how he is judged l'mayla. Here in our context, because the Farbrengen, it resonated with the Farbrengen Rebbe, because that's who he was. He felt that not that the Farbrengen Rebbe is proclaiming, "I'm the Nasi Adir." The Rebbe is saying on the Farbrengen Rebbe, since this is why he mentions Mordechai, because it resonated with him. Why did it resonate with him? Because that's who he was. And so with on this theme now, Perek Ches. Valpi ze yesh levai kesher v'seida hinyanim b'maimer v'bira posik v'ata tetzavachul b'goyim. And now we understand the hemshech, the seder of why the Farbrengen Rebbe does this in order. What's the order? Shebetzchilim avaris appears to v'ata tetzavas b'nei Yisrael. First, he explains what does it mean? V'ata tetzavah, you Moshe should command that Shemoshehu mekashem achabes b'nei Yisrael imay rein soif al yidei shuzon farnes es amunah. The Moshe connects and joins the Yidden with Ein Sof, with the Yebisha through this, that he sustains and expands and brings out the Emunah of the Yid. As we explained before, which level of Emunah? Not the level of Emunah has the Neshama sees Elokus above, but the etzem of the Yid, as his Neshama Beguf, brings out his etzem, the essence of an identity of what a Yid is. And after he explains that also all the leaders of the Yidden, the shepherds of the Yidden in every generation, which is the extension of Moshe, they strengthen this belief of the emunah of every Yid. K'mei Mordechai, who was the Moshe B'doirei, like Mordechai, he was the Moshe in his generation. Shechizik is emunasim shel Yisrael, that he strengthened the emunah of the Yidden, that they should lam moed chazak belim the Torah v'kima misses. They should stand firmly in their with strength to learn Torah and to do mitzvahs with a steadfast determination, not to give up at all. And then afterwards comes another part of the pasuk, Kosus Lamoyer. That's another piece of the pasuk. Sheba pasuk v'ata tetzaveh shemedaber l'chayra b'Moshe atzmoi, and that's talking about Moshe himself. The referring to Moshe. The key zeh shemoshe megala bechinas hamor the Yisrael etzem neshama. Why did this? The Moshe reveals the moir of the Yidden of the etzem neshama. Who beikar? When is this mainly? Moshe Rabbeinu didn't. It came out in his generation, but then they had, we said before, the knowledge of Hashem brought that amon and a pnimius of the das Hashem. But when is the ikar? Zer Moshe megal the bechinas hamor the Yisrael etzem neshama who the ikar lidei spashtus the leish of his managolas kosis. That's after when it comes in the union of kosis. In the time of Golos, when the Yidden are broken, are broken, are crushed. Sha'oira, what does he do? Sha'oira b'Yisrael Kirch Mesiris Nefesh Alehem. He brings out their Kirch of Mesiris Nefesh. Shal Yedei Zeh is the Ikir Gili Etzem Neshama Amor, because when you have Mesiris Nefesh, this is the main revelation of the Etzem Neshama Amor. So there now you have good the Hemshech of the psukim of why the Frierdiker Rebbe says Kosis L'Ma'ir after the inyan of explaining this Special to the Moshe. The Rebbe is now going to ask a question. He's going to say that in the pasuk itself, the pasuk, according to this explanation, we skip a few words of the pasuk. We skip 4 words of the pasuk. The pasuk reads, "Va'ata tetzavis b'nei Yisrael," and you should command the Yidden. In other words, bring them closer to Hashem. In other words, bring out the etzem and the neshama. And when do they need this the most? Is kosis l'moir, when they are crushed with kosis l'moir in time of golus. L'moir brings out their etzem. The only thing is that in the middle, the pasuk says v'yichoy lech Hashem zayzoch. The pasuk says, and they should bring to you this olive oil, this pure olive oil. So in this explanation, we've skipped those words. And maybe the pasuk should read better. Ve'ata tetzavis b'nei Yisrael, when there should be the union of kosis l'mo'er, and through this v'yikol lech Hashem zayzoch, and through this then you're going to get the olive oil, because we explained earlier, Moshe is going to have an aliyah. When is it going to be? When he brings out the etzem of the Yidden. So according to this explanation, that is all happens when he brings out their etzem of kosis l'mar in the time of Golus. That's when the etzem neshama comes out. So we're missing this connecting piece of Yicho Elech Hashem Zayzoch. That seems to be out of place. So the pasuk so far reads like this: and you, Moshe, will connect the Yidden to Hashem. You will have an aliyah, When is that going to be? When you bring out the etzem the time of Golus. Somehow it doesn't fit exactly. There has to be a deeper message, something else in these words, that will help us understand this whole process of Moshe helping Yidden connect to Hashem and what the avoid of the Yidden is going to be. So this question the Rebbe asks now at the end of Oisches. According to this explanation that we said, Kosis Lomoyer crushed to bring out the etzem, the essence of the Yid. That's got to do with Vatat Tzava. Lazer Shemoshe Vispashtusu Delay Shebechol Doyer Mekashim or Machabim Es Yisrael Merin Sof. That through this the Moshe connects the Yid to the Eibusher, to Yerin Sof. Or by Kosav Nema Kosis Lomoyer Behem Shel V'Yikra Lecha Shem Zayzoch. But in the pasuk it says Kosis Lomoyer comes after, and will bring to you Shem Zayzoch, the olive oil. And the inyan of Yikra Lecha Gamer, and this inyan, as we explained earlier in the Maamarim, Yisrael Mavim Shem Moshe. What does it mean? What's the pneumistic attach of the Yidden bring oil to Moshe? Which Yisrael Mersivim Twice verse Oyer b'Moshe Kimavu Leil Siv Beis b'Maamarim, and that's that the Yidden add to Moshe, add to the oil signifies that the Yidden add to Moshe. So even though we've explained when the Friedrich Rebbe's Maamarim why it is, he first speaks about his Special Shabbos of the Moshe, and then Kosis Lamoyer, that the main gili of the essence of the Neshama is in the time of Golus. That's him being at the Moyer. We're left with though this: what's bringing the oil to Moshe? How's this aliyah to Moshe happen that the Yidden do? In other words, there's got to be something that the Yidden do that's going to add in this process, that's connected to their etzem. It's not just Hashem brings out their etzem emunah, wonderful, and the Yidden are moving forward. There's an avoid the Yidden have to do, which is depicted by the Yikhrei Lecha. They will bring to you the oil. There's an active process that the Yidden have to do with this koyach that's given to them. The Moshe brings out their etzem. There's something else. Now that you have this ability, what are we going to do with it? What's the Yid do with it? How is he affected? How is his what's the work that he's got to do with his etzem and neshama that becomes now more part of him in the pnimius? What that's depicted by the words Viku Alecha Shem Zayazach. That the Yom now it's going to take a few more oisius till we get to exactly what that was, but we'll come to it soon. So next year, Mitzvah will pick up at Ois Tes. Thank you so much for joining. Hatzlacha Rabbah. Have a great day.